What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid. Here with my guy, Pedro. How are you?
Fine, man. Thanks. Let's talk about Primeira Liga.
So you guys, you know, we're Portuguese, so we see the Portuguese league. And who best to talk about it with my friend Pedro. So I am hyped about this. And this is part 1, guys. Part 1, because if you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to like this video, and let's get to a like goal of 200 likes, okay? If you enjoyed this video, of players to watch from Primeira Liga, okay? So, let's get it started.
Let's do it. So, for me, one of the biggest surprises in Primeira Liga this year was Vicente, okay? And a key player towards the achievement, this big achievement, which was being in the European competitions for the first time in their history, was Fran Navarro, okay? A player from Valencia Academy. And if you see his stats, he has 31 league games, 16 goals, and 2 or 3 or 4 assists, maybe. I'm not sure of the assists, but he's been performing amazingly. He banged in goals against both Porto and Sporting, both top 2 teams in the Primeira Liga, okay? So he's a big game player. And if you see his stats, he always, this is a curious thing. He always scored more goals than games. Except for one club, which was in the Belgium 2nd division, which he didn't perform. But in Valencia's 2nd team, he always had more goals than matches. And then he came to the Portuguese Primeira Liga, and he just stole the show. He was one of the references in Portugal this year, and it's amazing how no one saw it coming. Come on, nobody knew Fran Navarro.
Personally, I was a bit surprised with how good he was in Primeira Liga. And 2, it's like how these Spanish players are starting to really enjoy coming, like Abel Ruiz at Braga too.
You have Ivan Jaime at Famalicão as well.
That was a good. That's
a good player.
Good player, like Famalicão. They like to get one player
with a little bit of Jorge Mendes help.
Gustavo Assunção.
He didn't
injured.
He wasn't very happy at Galatasaray. He returned to. He was on loan at Galatasaray. Yes. He returned mid-season. I think a little devastated through injuries, but.
But you mentioned Vicente. I was hyped about that because big up to people. If you guys don't know about Vicente, see this team, okay? They deserve credit for what they're doing in Portugal. And what I gotta say is Samuelino. He's got 12 goals for Vicente in the league. And we all seen the news of Athletic de Madrid eyeing up for Samuelino. And if you don't see Porto, Benfica, or Sporting snatching up one of these players at Vicente and Atletico going for him, he's guaranteed potential because Jota went to Atletico before.
Samuelino, 12 goals, 5 assists in the league. Fran Navarro, 16 goals. I'm not sure of his assists. Maybe he doesn't even have one, but he's not there to make assists. He's there to bang in goals. So
exactly.
Both. What an amazing duo, right?
Agreed.
And combined almost 30 goals.
And you said he doesn't need to do assists, Navarro, but there's someone in that team that he seems that he only does assists. And it's Pedrinho. That was at Pas Ferreira beforehand. Has 14 league assists, Pedrinho, okay? Big up to him. And yeah, those assists that Navarro doesn't get.
He's becoming a Primeira Liga legend, right?
Pedrão.
He was you told me you remember him quite well at Passos, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Now he finally seemed to have burst and showed all the talent he had reserved in his feet. So
it's great to see.
Yeah, amazing to see Vicente playing like this. We hope it continues towards next year.
Exactly.
And we hope they perform well in the Conference League. Portugal needs the points for the ranking. And
last shout for me with Vicente is a player. He's on loan from Braga, but I think Braga knows he's a baller, and they're gonna play him next season because that right back Rodrigo Gomes has been doing all the lines, and I prefer him as winger. Zé Carlos too. I want to shout him out. Great right back at Vicente, okay? And people expect to see him at Braga because I think something's gonna happen there. So I want to give my initial shouts to the champion sport, okay? Big up. You guys definitely have to remember the 2 players Okay, then I'm gonna say FC Wonderkid channel. Talk about Wonderkids. Vitinha
and Fabio Vieira.
Exactly. Well, for me, people should remember big time Fabio Vieira, man. Fabio Vieira, because right now he seems to get assist laser.
He's more underrated than Vitinha.
Exactly. And but Vitinha gets the attention. Why? The dribbling.
Yeah, that's true.
The dribbling is beautiful. And in the under 21 Euros.
We say in Portuguese, é mais vistoso.
Vitinha is definitely mais vistoso. And what I got to say about these two players is I had doubts. I had doubts that they were going to play with Sergio Conceição. I'm going to be honest.
Because they're not the kind of player that Sergio Conceição wants to have in their
team. The past. Yeah, in the past.
He evolved.
He evolved. And that's why I was so surprised for the job done this season. And even Chico. Maybe Chico Conceição has a hand.
Come on.
Helping his dad.
Son, come on. But beautiful moments when he scores and he goes and hug his father. It's really beautiful.
It's a beautiful. It's the dream
it's the beauty of football.
It's the dream of any parent that loves football to have that relationship of Chico and Sergio. And Sergio, he was hyped up in that locker room, winning the luge. But Zaidu, great player for underrated African player in my opinion. Fullback Zaidu, people watch him out. But going back to Vitinha and Fabio Vieira, I don't expect Vitinha to stay. And I was saying they evolved. Sergio Conceição evolved, but they evolved too. And Vitinha defends much more, tracks back much more. And Fabio Vieira, he's so confident in those decision-making moments, man, that if he's going to create a goal, he can do it out of nowhere. And I literally feel like having Taremi, Ivan Nilsson, those options up forwards, unbelievable. Even Pepe late stages with Fabio Vieira.
And Pepe was a really good surprise for Porto fans after Luís Dias left. Come on, they thought, okay, this will be a really harsh moment for us in the championship.
That happened. Yes.
But Pepe stepped up.
Yes.
He made them forget Luís Dias, not completely. It's not, of course, he's not at the same level of Luís Dias, but he delivered.
I agree.
Constantly.
I agree. There's assists there that there's moments in games that Porto needed an assist. Pepe delivered.
And Taremi was there to score.
Taremi. And
Evan Nilsson.
And of these players, do you think any's going to leave next season?
I think that... Do you think that Vitinha would fit in Wolves?
I feel like they made that decision to let him go. I don't think they're going to get him back. I think someone else will get Vitinha. I don't know who, but I saw Bayern news. I think Gravenberch would have been... Maybe he's better, but Vitinha ain't a bad option if Gravenberch isn't available. So, yeah, I think he's got market though. He's got a market, Vitinha. But Fabio Vieira is the most underrated one. And this huge news of wherever Darwin's gonna go, that Darwin, look, this video itself, like we just need to do a quick shout out to Darwin. 24 stars, 26 goals, 4 assists, 30 goal involvements in the league. We just need to do a quick shout out to Darwin. Every team should go for Fabio Vieira.
Not to mention the Champions League, right?
Exactly. Even more goals. So, for me, a cheaper option and a better option, underrated, is Fabio Vieira. Because, yeah, he's going to be a Portuguese national team player.
Regarding the Portuguese Big Three, I will be curious to see what this summer market brings. Because, as we mentioned, Fran Navarro previously,
yes,
he's a player with a lot of market in Portugal. True. He doesn't have that kind of market in Spain because he never played the top division in Spain. But he's valid in Portugal. Benfica could snatch him. Sporting could snatch him. Even Porto, if one of the strikers leaves. It's going to be really interesting.
Sporting will get a striker, you reckon? Because Slimani, that didn't work. You think Tiago Tomás comes back?
Tiago Tomás has been performing really well. Goal. He just scored the wonder goal against Bayern Munich.
Big up to him, Tiago Tomás.
That's true. I didn't expect for him. I must be honest. I didn't expect for him to have this kind of impact in the Bundesliga.
He's adapting.
He's playing well in a struggling Stuttgart team.
He's a disciplined guy. You know?
He made an impact. The first game he played, I think he scored 2 goals or something like that. It was amazing.
I think he's got like 3 league goals.
Four.
So that's goals. Really good. 4
one of them was against Neuer, so it's worth 4. So he has 8 goals.
But big up to him. So Ruben, he's got a decision there, but he's adapting very well to the Bundesliga. So for me, I think he's got 1 more year on his loan.
Yeah, but I think he has a callback option. I don't know.
They're gonna get him.
I think Ruben Amorim would be glad to see him back. even because of this Slimani situation, I think that Ruben was expecting, okay,
Yes.
we have Slimani in a 2-year contract.
Okay.
When he finishes his contract, Tiago Tomás comes back
Okay.
and he fills in Slimani's steps.
I like that. I like that.
But there was a setback. Slimani is not part of Ruben Amorim's plans anymore, and I think that might anticipate the calling Tiago Tomás back to the squad. Nonetheless, I think Fran Navarro would be a very interesting acquisition because he's a striker. He's a box rat, you know. He moves really well inside the box. He's agile. He's fast, and he has good finishing. And he's a big player. He's a big match player. He scored against both top 2 classified teams in Portugal.
It's a good shout from Navarro to Sporting. So staying at Sporting, okay? Because I know a lot of people. If we're shouting out Primeira Liga, we got to shout out a couple of players from Sporting. Mateus Nunes, okay? I feel like Mateus Nunes is going. He's leaving, and seeing the Fernandinho retirement, City's a big option.
Okay. Let me just say this. Mateus Nunes is a wonderful player, but he's a down-to-earth guy, okay?
Okay.
I don't reckon... he's really down-to-earth. I mean, he doesn't think he's the best player in the world just because he's performing well, okay? I know he knows he has a lot to develop. I think he's eager to prove himself, yes. But I think that he will stay one more year because he knows that that's the best option for him. Because he doesn't want to take the next step until he's ready. Come on, because 3 years ago he was playing at Tiriceirense, okay?
True.
So he knows he had a meteoric rise, okay? Now he was at Tiriceirense 3 years ago. Now Pep Guardiola is saying he's one of the best midfielders in the world.
Was he 3 years?
3 years ago, yeah.
Okay, but
or 4, I don't know.
But because he went to Streel.
He was at under 23s,
then
and then
lockdown
on the same
happened.
season he went to the A team, and then next season to Sporting.
So I feel like he had a lot of time to develop. I feel like honestly he should go. I feel like Mateus Nunes should go, and even for Sporting, is Spot gonna change position? I see an awful lot of news of people saying he's gonna play at the 8.
I think he shouldn't.
But for me, I want to shout out, okay, leave it. I think Palhinha's going to go. It's going to leave Sporting this summer. And I think Sporting are fine with it because they have Ugarte there, okay? Manuel Ugarte for me
is what's a shame? The World Cup this year is in October, and Palhinha will leave before the World Cup.
But it's not.
You won't have the chance to appreciate in the World Cup.
But Ugarte will play. Ugarte will play for Uruguay next to Fede Valverde. You as a sport, you gotta be hyped about that.
Ugarte will be an Uruguay reference in the future.
I agree, and people are gonna be shocked with how good Ugarte is.
No one's seeing him coming.
Exactly.
No one.
English fans, remember the name.
Manuel Ugarte.
From Sporting, okay? He is the reason why Sporting are so fine for Palhinha to go.
That's true. And he wasn't a 6 at the beginning.
No,
he wasn't a defensive midfielder. He was a box-to-box guy.
Agree.
And Ruben Amorim saw the potential. He adapted Manuel Ugarte at the 6th position. And now, for me, he's performing better than Palhinha.
He seems to do that, Ruben.
You know why? Because Palhinha is probably one of the best destroying game, playing without the ball, positioning-wise, physically also.
Yes.
But Ugarte has a type of ball handling that Palhinha doesn't
Better
have.
movement,
Yeah.
I agree. Better, I think
he's a better player on the ball than Palhinha.
Combining with his teammates, I feel like when Ugarte plays with Mateus Nunes,
dynamic duo.
There's a bit of the passing.
Because both of them are good with the ball on their feet.
I like their movements with both. And Palhinha is... I compare... not Rodri. I don't want to say Palhinha's Rodri. But Palhinha has a lot of Casemiro in him. You know? And he's more of a Casemiro than a player like Kimmich instead. And I think Ugarte has that Kimmich ball distribution and destroying capability. That's why we're saying he's going to be a Uruguayan legend. Just like Darwin Nunes. So the Portuguese league is helping big time these Uruguayan talents.
One last shout out for a player that's performed really well this year in the league and unfortunately is leaving because he was a lone player. Pablo Sarabia for Sporting. I have to say, I usually don't like lone players coming to Sporting. I'm a Sporting fan. Because they usually are always overrated and they underperform.
Joel
but this
Campbell.
year, in just one season, Sarabia is the Spanish player ever that has more goals for Sporting. in just one season.
But who's the second?
I think Diego Capel. But he was at Sporting like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad, yeah. It's not bad. And he
it's
played
an
a lot.
amazing stat. And he has a lot of assists, a lot of goals. I think he has 19 goals this season.
He's the best player in Liga
He has
NOS.
around 10 assists.
Do you think
he's the player in Liga NOS that has the most quality in his feet?
Pablo Sarabia.
I think so. And he was going to return to PSG. And I wouldn't be surprised if he played a few matches.
He's got the quality.
He has. And even at PSG, he delivered last year.
Role player, definitely.
He delivered. And even if PSG... even if PSG won't use him, of course he increases his value this year, so they can make a good sell out of him. And I'm really sad that he's going to leave because Sporting, by no chance, they don't have the wages they don't have the capability to pay the wages he will demand. But he's a player that will stay in Sporting's hearts, fans, and
he'll be
remembered, because he's really humble, because Ruben Amorim doesn't like the star player type of guy, and Sarabia is a star player without being a star player because he's really humble.
And he gets big money, right? Like
5
million. 5 million a year a guy at Sporting's getting. Big up to Nuno Mendes to making that happen, okay? Because if we have Sarabia at Sporting, unbelievable. And yeah, I like that shout. And there's a reason why he plays for Spain, too.
Yeah, he's a starter for Spain.
So it's like unbelievable. In the next World Cup, anticipate to see him, people. Pablo Sarabia. And yeah, I got to shout out a Portuguese player, Ricardo Horta, okay? The best player I've seen in Braga in the past 2 seasons, okay? Ricardo Horta. I would not be surprised if he goes to Benfica. Roger Schmidt. Make that happen. He's a baller, okay? And everyone that watches Portuguese football knows that he is an iconic player for Braga and one of the best. One of the best.
Won't let him go easily.
Won't let him, but it will be 50 to 20 million, I reckon, to get Ricardo Horta. And we all know the Horta brothers absolutely love Benfica. So I feel like that's the deal that should happen.
But then again, Ruben Amorim also loved Benfica and he ended up at Sporting. So who knows?
True.
Ricardo Horta next to Ruben Amorim.
But and this, you're love how you do that. But I think to justify Ricardo Horta coming in, as I think Rafa's gonna go. I think Rafa's gonna leave Benfica and PZ too. I think those 2 players, because of what happened in the past.
PZ, I reckon. Rafa, I'm not sure.
There's still doubts, but I think that's gonna happen. So people, put down below whatever we didn't talk about the Portuguese league. Make sure you like this video if you want to see part 2. I sure enjoyed talking about the Portuguese league.
That was amazing, man. I want to do this again.
So like this video and yeah, go bold. It's 200 likes. So and don't forget to subscribe to FC Wonderkid.
Go bold, guys. If you want to see more of Primeira Liga facts, go follow and subscribe.
I love it.